The negative for injectable is that you are putting another needle in the animal, and most of these animals are beef animals, and so you do increase the chances of causing an injection site reaction. Mark, which one do you like?
I use both. I do my annual vaccinations in January, do an injectable, and then about June, May, June for lice control, do it for all.
Does anybody in here, who else in here does injectable? There's not many around. A lot of the stocker guys do injectables because they know exactly what they're getting in them. Again, we can do some of these other things about how we utilize our pastures more effectively. Dragon pastures, actually, the most recent research is saying that actually may increase our parasite load.
Just on the dewormer for a second, have you seen anything with the parasite resistance and the need to rotate the mode of action for dewormers?
We do recommend you can just open up a whole can of worms whenever you talk about that. Everybody's got their opinion about it. Yeah. And when there's so many different opinions out there, that usually means there's not one great one. So I'm just going to tell you my opinion. I do like to rotate my dewormers. We usually rotate against the major brands, so Epronex, Dectomax, Cydectin, and just your brown box Ivomec. We also do use some of the white dewormers, which will be your paste or oral dewormers. So Synanthic, Safeguard, Panicure are some of the ones that you may have heard of there, or Valbazen. Just so you keep it in the back of your mind, if you may go to some of these talks and they tell you about how good their product is, how good Safeguard is, or Panicure, and they are still good products, especially if you've not used them in a long time. If you've not used that product in 4 or 5 years, that product will work great. It really will. If you've never used it, it'll work great. But now if you use Panicure or one of these white oral dewormers year after year after year, they're going to build resistance to it very quickly. So just keep that in mind. You definitely have got to rotate that one in. And the white dewormers do not get as many parasites as your ivermectins, Dectomax, and Epronex and Cydectin. Your white dewormers also do not get lice, whereas the Ivomec do. Any questions about that? So again, monitor your stocking density, utilize your pastures more effectively, and then utilize effective dewormers properly. People also ask me, one of the kind of hot topics is, what about all these generics out there? I'm going to tell you, I do not like generics. Generic is what? It's a generic. So if you don't think that your cattle can gain 1 more pound, because typically that's the only thing they need to gain. If you use brown box Ivomec versus your generic Ivomec, if that calf can't gain 1 more pound because you used the brown box Ivomec, then it's probably not worth using it. I agree. But I guarantee you that they've done the research to show that they're going to gain much better with using these non-generic products. So it's definitely worth it, especially at the price they are right now. Good gosh, the price calves are bringing right now is well worth using these good quality products. One thing I prefer that no one ever do is use these generics just for fly control. I've had several clients that talk about diluting the generic Ivomex and then spraying it on their back to use it as a fly control. And that is, you want to talk about promoting resistance. That is the surefire best bet to try and promote resistance. So again, we need to use them accordingly, use them properly. So we need to try and have some idea of what our cattle are weighing and make sure that we never underdose them. And we also don't want to really overdose them because we're just wasting money. But we should never be underdosing our dewormers.